Here's the breaking news from MetLife Stadium. Brian Robinson Jr., the running back for the Washington Commanders, is out for today's game. Missed a couple of practices this week with a sore hammy. Add that to the sore knee, and B-Rob is out, so Austin Ekeler, Jeremy McNichols, and the third back, Chris Rodriguez, will get the running attack for the burgundy and gold here from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Welcome all, folks, into Commanders kickoff from MetLife Stadium. It's a very crowded sideline right now here I'm on the Giants sideline, by the way. I want to say who set this up for me. It is a beautiful, crisp Sunday morning, but of course that news, B-Rob being out. It's the 2-6 not-so-Giants against the 6-2 Washington Commanders. And of course, they're still trying to get over last week's win over the Chicago Bears. So that's the news, that B-Rob is out. Austin Ekeler will be the main back featured for this Washington Commanders offense. Of course, Jayden Daniels can run as well. That's it from here for just a short spell. Let's get back in with our DC studios and my broadcast partners, Wisdom Martin and Sean Springs. And so a developing situation here for the Burgundy and Gold fellas, although they have done this before.
Right, yeah, you know, and it's not good news when you don't have Brian Robinson because he's the hammer, and I think he's key to the offense that gets this going. So here's the thing, Sean. These two teams played each other just a little more than a month and a half ago. We saw what happened. Since then, though, the Commanders and Giants, they're like the inner and the outer loop of the Beltway. Completely different directions. You know, you got the Commanders are winning, and the Giants are losing. It's that simple. The Giants 2-5. So New York has lost 3 straight. There's still a problem, have been a problem for this team in the past. What say you about this being a rivalry game, a division game?
Well, first of all, I don't like hearing the news that Brian Robinson, who had 133 yards in week 2 against the Giants, is out, because we need that hammer against pretty tough defensive front and Dexter, led by Dexter Lawrence and stuff like that. But it's a division game, like you said, on the road. We got to go on the road in the month of November. I'm going to tell you about the month of November.
Okay.
The contenders versus the pretenders.
Yeah.
This is the month you decide whether you're going to be the team that's going to make a run for the playoffs, or you're going to kind of sputter a little bit and the opportunity to miss. And we got to start by winning the month of November, starting in New York, where we go up there and we got to get all over Daniel Jones.
Right. And you mentioned Daniel Jones. He has had a tremendous amount of success. Man. For some reason, this is the only team he's still got a winning record against. 5-2-1 in his career versus Washington. We got to stop that. That's got to end today.
And when you think about it, if Daniel Jones could just only play us, he'd be like the winningest coach. He'd be the winningest quarterback in like NFL history.
Yeah.
It has to stop today, and it has to go. We have to take the team up. We got to take that momentum that we had coming off last week's game, the Hail Mary, everybody's still excited. That momentum needs to travel. We need to go to New York. We need to jump on those guys early, and guess what? It starts with getting after Daniel Jones.
It starts with that, and starts and ends with that. So let's get back out to Chick right now. He's at Northwest Stadium. He's talking about how we're going to get ready for this game now that we know that Brian Robinson's not going to be there, and all the other things that we got to do to get ready for the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, well, listen, you guys, you mentioned Daniel Jones. I mean, he's 0 for 6 at home. 0 for his last 6 at home. He's been horrible here. So that's the good news for the Washington Commanders. But you guys talked about it, and Sean, you mentioned it, it's momentum, right? After that Hail Mary win over the Chicago Bears, how do you keep the momentum? Well, on my weekly conversation with DQ, he said he preached reaching out to your teammate.
You and I, we can take our skills to a certain level, but to get to the next one, you got to tap into the person next to you. And if you do that, and you can collectively do that as a group and take your skills higher, that's when the fun stuff's there. And so that's what I love about the team, is that they're collectively wanting to fight for one another. And that's when the really cool stuff can happen.
You can hear the rest and the entire conversation with DQ on WUSA 9+. Been some really good conversations over the first 8 weeks. All right, Wisdom, Sean, keep me up.